Alright, so today's dish is lion's head meatballs. You might be wondering, why has the sink got dishes in it that look reminiscent of the chow mein video, whatever it was, chow fun? Whatever that last video was. It's because it's the same day and it's literally just like 2 hours later. I ate that, went to the store, bought this cabbage and that bok choy because I forgot to buy them. And now we're here. So this is a complicated long one, that's why I'm starting it early, and honestly, it's already almost 4 o'clock. This isn't going to be done till 9 p.m., so it looks like I'm eating dinner pretty late tonight. Which, is what it is. So let's get started here. I need to clear off all of this. So we need to chop up some pork belly, and we need the nipple off of it. I'm just going to be honest, I don't want to eat the pig nipple. A lot of pork belly dishes, you leave the skin on. I guess you could probably leave the skin on for this. I just don't like it. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I don't like skin on pork belly. I think the skin doesn't have that great of a texture unless you fry it, which, hey, fried pork skin is delicious. I'm not bashing you for liking fried pork skin. Also, if you don't like watching people cut up meat, I'm gonna let you know right now, you might want to fast forward, because the first several steps of this is just slice up the meat. You should be able to just glide your knife underneath, because the skin is a lot harder than the rest of it, and all the rest is just fat. This fat is actually, I might want to save some of this. This fat is very important to the lion's head meatball dish. So try and keep as much of the fat as you can get. We need to pulverize this meat. If you had 2 cleavers, you could do this twice as fast, but honestly, I can go even more. Okay, once you got like a really good mince on it, right? You want this to be mostly pureed here. It's mostly. Some of it's a little big still. I might keep passing through it. Okay, once you got it mostly pureed here, grab the bowl with the side of your hands and precariously place it up against the counter. Side of the hand it, back over there. Cool, you have that done. Half a block of tofu. Crush it on up, break it apart. This wasn't in every recipe, only in some of them, but I'm gonna choose to put it in, because why not? My tofu is still a little frozen. No, actually it sands right up when it's a little bit of frozen. It almost feels like a snow cone. Kinda weird. Now we need like half of this. This is just ground pork shoulder. Also, still kind of frozen. That might be a problem. Get all the non-frozen parts. That's the parts that you need. This has been defrosting for like 6 hours. You want this whole thing to be about a pound minus the tofu. A little over under a pound. This is not food safe. Just give it a gentle mix. Now we need to get all this raw meat stuff just out of the way. Okay, we're done touching raw meat for a second. We're gonna be back to touching that meat in a minute. Grab a blender, grab some ginger. You should have cut this up just a little bit. I didn't, and the cutting board's covered in raw stuff. And some green onion. I think I just cut my own hand doing that. Oh yeah, I took a chunk out of... Anyways, get the green onions in there. I don't trust that. I don't trust this whole counter until I'm done sanitizing it later. Take this, add some water into it. What we're making here is a ginger scallion water. Just add a little bit of water, grab this bad boy, flip it, and just blend it on up. Now, if you would have actually taken that chunk of ginger and cut it up, you won't have to blend it as long. Once you got like a nice smooth paste, you're done. Grab a bowl, grab a mesh strainer, and let's get this. You want to get this bad boy strained out. Who knows how long this will take. You need about 3 tablespoons of this stuff, so I'm sure the rest of this juice is absolutely delicious too. Oh, this smells amazing. I'm just gonna be honest with you. This smells like the best thing ever. Make sure to rinse this off, because if you don't now, it's gonna be gross later. This has made significantly more juice than I thought I would ever get out of this. We've got our green juice here. You need another bowl. Grab your cornstarch. You need about 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. And you need 3 tablespoons of this ginger scallion water. I know I just did 4. I was like half scooping there, as you saw. Honestly, you might need a little more on top of that too. Take it and grab a different utensil, because you threw that one on top of the meat blob. Just mix it up to make ginger scallion water cornstarch slurry. You need a cornstarch slurry anyways, so why bother adding more water to the dish? And get it into the meat. Fantastic. Add half a tablespoon of sugar, teaspoon of salt, half a tablespoon of white pepper, tablespoon of soy sauce, light soy sauce to be specific, and a tablespoon of cooking wine, and then 2 eggs. Now mix it up. People on the internet say mix it one way, so I'm gonna listen to the people on the internet, man. And you're gonna be doing this for like 5 minutes. Fill up a pan or pot, whatever you want to call it, with oil. Get it hot. Make some cornstarch water. You're just going to cover your hands with to make the pork not stick. And then you're just gonna grab some pretty big balls of meat. Talking like that. These things are large. Throw them on a plate. Re-up on your cornstarch slurry each time. I just tried picking that up. Shit immediately started to stick. Big ball, cornstarch water, big ball. I think I'm gonna get like 5 out of this. That could have been a better ball. A little off that, throw it over there. Really just slap that shit. Now you might be thinking, Chris, these balls are really wet. And are you concerned about that when you drop it into that hot oil over there? And to answer that question, yes, I'm actually very concerned with how wet these balls came out. Because that seems awfully dangerous. But you know, we're here. We've made it this far. Maybe you play it careful and we rest them in this thing that you're covering with water right now. You might notice that your balls are getting flat because they're sitting over here. That's a problem. Don't worry about it. God, I am gonna have so many dishes at the end of today. Check on your oil. Give it a stir. Still not hot enough. It's fine. Everything's fine. While this heats up, you're gonna wanna work on your soup. You need about 2 tablespoons worth of broth in here. This is not an exact science here. What am I gonna do? Measure the amount of water and then measure the amount of ingredients that I'm putting in the water? Come on now. Who do you think I am? Back to the soup base. We need dark soy, about a tablespoon's worth. I'm gonna go with that much, enough that I can't see the bottom anymore. About a tablespoon and a half of oyster sauce, and an ingredient that I forgot to have out earlier, which is rock sugar. Throw in a few chunks, and that's it on that. This is done. You can just put this wherever the hell you want to put this. I'm gonna go with right here. I'm gonna put it right back where it was. Check your oil again, because it's looking ripply again. You want this to be like 300. Your goal is to fry your meatballs, right? Not fully, but just enough, so that they don't fall apart in the soup, because you're gonna be braising them for like 4 hours. Okay, I'm like actually really concerned about when I drop this in, how much oil displacement there's gonna be. So I'm just gonna preemptively move stuff away from here so that I can run away and hopefully not light the house on fire, right? This is my hopes, that I put this in and it just casually bubbles instead of exploding all over my hands. But as you know, I don't have the best track record of frying things. I don't like to fry things. It is one of my least favorite things to do when it comes to cooking. Right up there with baking. That's hot enough. It's at like 320-ish. We'll probably be fine. Grab a meatball, cornstarch slurry yourself again. Get it into a nice shape. Put it in this little basket. Fun fact, they're too wet. I can already tell you they're too wet, and that's too much oil. That was a terrible idea. That's fine. You know, that was attempt number 1. Attempt number 1 wasn't the biggest success. But attempt number 2, better, but it stuck to this. So I don't know what to do about that. It's not good. Suboptimal. Yes, this thing isn't gonna work. Big spoon, maybe? I think that one's falling apart, too. They don't need to cook for long. We just want them to get like a nice shell on them. Cooking, am I right? You never know what's gonna happen. I don't like that there's a hole there. Why am I using this still? It's covered in oil. Crazy how much keeping a large weight on your forehead. Body is not a fan. Just not. It's like, why are you keeping this heavy thing on me? And I'm like, listen, man. I gotta get the shot, you know? Probably shouldn't just leave that plastic utensil in this hot oil. Or even sitting on the edge there. I just pick it up. Oh my god. Covered in oil. I wish I had one of these. Like, I wish I had a slotted spoon. Slotted spoon worked really well for this, but it is what it is. So, once you got it nice and golden brown like this, you're gonna take it, you're gonna let it dry off, but it'll fall apart, right? It's gonna fall apart. I'm just gonna level with you. It is not meant for this world, and we need to get it into that braising liquid. But that looks like too much braising liquid. Just gonna be honest. You know what? It's fine. Just let it go for a minute. Let it go for a minute. And just dump some of that out. Pick it back up. Drain it. And plop it on in there for it to calm down. Rinse and repeat the process. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that so easy? Oh yeah, cornstarch slurry. I always forget. Ball. Reball your balls. Ball and thing. Into hot oil. Put it to the side. Good to go. It's an easy process now. Once you do one, it's easy peasy. All right, no problems here. Wash your hands before you touch your cell phone to take this head mount off and fry up the rest of them. You're recording yourself doing this, right? That's you as well. All right, cool. I'll see you in a minute. Fried all 5 meatballs. Took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but that's fine. Now you want to get them in your pot here. You want to bring this to a simmer, right? This is going to go into my pressure cooker in a minute. I'm not going to pressure cook them. That wouldn't be smart. But what I am going to do is use it as a slow cook. So you need to be slowly braising for 4 hours. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Chris, I'm hungry now. It's 5 p.m. Which I'm not hungry yet, but I'm getting a little... Anyways, thinking, Chris, I'm hungry now. 4 hours? I mean, you can technically pull them after 1 apparently, but yeah, 4 hours. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is when I'll be eating dinner today. That is an unfortunate truth. You're taking cabbage, right? Napa cabbage, and you're just kind of putting it in here. Break it in half. Use it to kind of cup underneath the balls. Actually, don't do this yet. Let it boil first. Get this out of here. What am I thinking? Yoink. Once this boils, we're going to put the Napa cabbage in. Move it over there. You'll see. You'll see. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good time. That oil's still too hot to pour back into the container, and that I'm throwing away because look how dark that became. What you should be doing right now is cleaning up your mess. Oh, boy. Back on this. This is getting somewhere. I want to kind of skim off some of these bubbles just so I can see what the hell's going on in there. Okay, see how it's starting to bubble? That's it. That's all we need. Cut the heat. You don't need that. You don't need that boiling. Get on your gloves. Bring it over here. Grab your cabbage and just try and cup each meatball with it. You're just trying to make sure that each meatball isn't bumping up against the other meatballs. It's really the point of the cabbage. Also, I guess it'll add a nice cabbagey flavor. I don't know. People like cabbage? Some must, because it is sold in stores. I think the harder bottom parts are a bit better here. The leafy bits are doing good too. Alright, that's probably good enough. And now go sit down and relax for the next 4 hours. And by relax, I mean go edit the Panda Express video. I'll see you then. Alright. It's been 4 hours. And there you go. We got some cooked meatballs. I'll plate it up and get back to you. Look at that. Look at, let me get the lighting on it. Yeah, so beautiful. Wow, I already took the photos for the thumbnail, so we can just cut into this bad boy. I mean, it kind of just looks like meatloaf, if I'm being completely honest with you. Oh, it's so wet. Wow. That's delicious. This is absolutely, this is so good. You know, for it being like straight up pork and a lot of fat, I feel like a lot of that cooked out, a lot of it rendered out. Because it's so like homogenous on the inside. There's no chunks. Yeah, without that outer crust, it is like a paste on the inside. A delicious paste. Best way I can describe it. Honestly, this was kind of a pain in the ass. Don't know if you want to make it, but if you got the time, I recommend because this was really good.